I'm Mike Lanesman, and today's Illustrator tutorial will deal with the Pathfinder. The Pathfinder creates compound shapes. Compound shapes are created from two or more paths. We can then have different results based on which of these options we select. Starting off, we look in the toolbar and we see the rectangle tool menu. If you notice, there is a little triangle on the bottom of many of the panels in the program. That simply means that if I click and hold, I bring up more options that reside in that same menu. Starting off, I'm going to use the ellipse tool to draw an ellipse. Should I wish to draw a constrained circle, I will hold the Shift key and that will result in a constrained shape. I'm now going to apply a fill to this circle, and I will continue by drawing a second shape, which will be a square, by using the rectangle tool. Holding Shift will also yield the same result and give me a constrained square. I will fill this with a different color. Let's look at the basics of this Pathfinder panel. Should I choose the first option of Unite, you will notice that it is going to unite and merge both these shapes into one compound shape, but use the color from the topmost object, which is the blue square. Exactly done as we asked it to do. It combined both shapes using the blue color. This is not the result we want to achieve in this exercise, so I will undo that with Command plus Z on a Mac or Control plus Z on a Windows computer. Assuming we would like to draw a pie chart, we can certainly use this technique. All we need to do with the Pathfinder is to understand how the shape was made up. I'll explain. Let's create a duplicate of this shape. Select both the objects, hold the Alt or the Option key on a Mac, drag down, and we have a duplicate which we will use in the next step of this exercise. Coming back to the top shape, we select both the objects and we will now examine the minus front option. The minus front option excludes the overlap of the topmost object, and we are left in fact with a Pac-Man or with a pie chart. Good. Let's have a look at another option of the Pathfinder. I will select the duplicated objects that I have, and I will now select the intersect option. This now makes one compound shape from the intersected area. I could now move this in and we have a pie chart. Let's manipulate this further, and why don't we create a flower? Selecting both the shapes, I will change the color. I will make the color fill of this pie object. I can turn that into an orange, and I will select the slice and create that in a different color, perhaps yellow. Selecting both objects again, I would like to rotate this object. Noticing if we place the cursor on a corner of a selection, you see the straight double-headed arrow, which implies that I can resize this object. For this exercise, I'm not looking to resize the object, but I'm actually looking to rotate the object. I can therefore just move the mouse slightly out of that selection and I see the curved double-headed arrow. This is the result that we are going to achieve here, and I will rotate until I have rotated it to that angle over there. Good. I will now like to move this object down for the center of the flower that we're creating, but you will notice that it is in the front of the flower. I would like to move this behind. This is simply a case of stacking order, and I can right click on the object, invoke the arrange command, center back. It is now behind. All good, the start of our flower. We can now take the pencil tool, which is located 2 tools down from that, and this will allow us to draw the stem. I will now increase the weight of the stroke, and remember, a very good efficient way of increasing any of the measurements in Adobe Illustrator, highlight the number, simply use the up arrow key to increase the weight, down arrow key to reduce the weight. Holding the shift key will add or subtract by 10 millimeters or 10 pixels, depending on which tool you're using. I will now change the stroke color from the control panel, and I will make that green. Let's give it a lighter green. Again, stacking order problem, because the stem is now in front. I will right click, arrange, center back. I can now duplicate the shape again. Simply selecting the flower, and a good option at this point to keep it together would be to group it, which would be Object Group, or Command plus G on a Mac, or Control G on a Windows computer. These shapes will now stay together. Holding the Alt key and dragging it over will allow me to duplicate the shape, and I could possibly rotate this again to give a different result. I will now take the pencil tool again and draw another stem. Increase the stroke weight, choose a color, and highlight the number, and use the up arrow key to increase the stroke weight. Again, I need to move this shape to the back. I will select it with the normal selection tool, the black selection tool, right click, arrange, center back. And there you have a simple tutorial on creating a flower using the Pathfinder, and hopefully a better explanation on what compound shapes are. Thank you for watching. Be sure to keep checking in on mikelanesman.com for the latest video tutorials on Adobe software.